on their speeches. I please ask that you demonstrate our appreciation by first turning off your cell phones and by remaining quiet and respectful as they give their speeches. This evening's first speaker is Bradley Brackenbury. Bradley is the son of William Brackenbury and Penny Barnett. While at Fort Osage High School, Bradley was involved in student publications and is a member of the National Honor Society. For 4 consecutive years, he was a Missouri State Poetry Society Award winner, earned FOHS 2009 Reciting for Excellence Award, was a 2008 Manningham Trust Poetry Contest Honorable Mention winner, and won the 2010 Vista Learning Video Contest. Upon graduation, Bradley plans to attend the University of Missouri, where he intends to study journalism, film production, and graphic design. Bradley Brackenbury.
Dr. Enderlin, members of the school board, Dr. Snodgrass, teachers, parents, friends, and especially fellow graduates. It is an honor to speak before all of you today. A line is a geometric figure formed by a point moving along a fixed direction. In a graph, it is often used to measure a change over time, a certain progression or decline. A line will never grow stagnant, since it is infinite by definition. A line is a quantitative representation in the textbook and the classroom, but I feel that there is a lot more to a line than plain geometry. You see, in elementary school, we traveled in lines. It was follow the leader. We learned the properties of a line inside out. Don't cut, don't fall behind, single file. Any of these grievous errors would turn us from a line into a scatter plot before you could say line leader. As we grew older, we became very well acquainted with the lines of notebook paper. We recited lines of poetry in English and learned the fault lines in earth science. But outside the classroom, we began to break free from the constricting lines of elementary days. We began to develop into more aware, observant individuals. As the class of 2011, we grew up in the midst of some drastic changes in the world around us. We're old enough to remember Super Nintendo and Power Rangers, but young enough to adapt to the digital age. We saw the fall of landlines and the rise of Wi-Fi, witnessed the evolution of blogging from Zanga to MySpace, and entered high school just as Facebook stood at the front line of social networking. Just like a line graph, we all experienced change over time. As the world grew and evolved, so did you and I. We grew from infancy to the independent individuals sitting here. It's like we were color TVs that grew up into high definition, 1080p home theaters. We overcame every challenge that we thought was insurmountable. Our high school years at Fort Osage were outlined with some success here and some failure there. But what lasts in our mind is not what happened, but the way in which we remember it. The Roman philosopher Seneca worded it this way: things that were hard to bear are sweet to remember. Our football players stood at the line of scrimmage, ready to do whatever was necessary to win for themselves and the school, even if it seemed rough. Our cheerleaders lined the bleachers with displays of support and school spirit, even in the face of adversity. Our actors and actresses memorized lines of dialogue to entertain and move their audiences. Our yearbook and newspaper teams went to great lengths to meet deadlines and be punctual. Sure, at times, it felt hopeless. And at times, we needed parents and teachers to nag at us when we were walking a thin line. But to be plain, all of that is the point of growing up. Along the line, we've lost some games or lost some competitions. We've also lost some dear classmates, Laura, Eddie, and Ryan. But through the heart-wrenching pain and the joy, we stuck together and learned to take our losses in stride. The truth is, it was both the painful memories and the good memories that made us who we are and molded the stronger people we are to become. We are here today to celebrate everything that happened in the first chapter of our The experience we gain through our high school years serve as the stepping stones on which we will cross into adulthood. We are not only celebrating the memories of yesterday, but the prospects of tomorrow. We enter this auditorium in lines, but we will exit like a tidal wave. When we leave, we will no longer be following the leader, but becoming leaders ourselves. So, if tomorrow is yesterday's today, and today we are graduating from high school into life, then we have some preparing to do, because the world of tomorrow is bound to be big. But at the same time, if all we ever do is prepare for the future, we'll lose touch with the moments that touch our lives. If there's one thing I learned from being a senior, it's that doting on the future when the present needs attention is the easiest way to feel regret. There has to be a middle ground, a peaceful equilibrium. Just like the line leaves specific points on a plane, we have to be sure to leave a mark in the wake of every moment. Because without leaving a mark, there is no memory. Without a memory, there is no past. Without the past, there is no present. And without the present, there can be no future. Without change, there is no growth. And without growth, there is no life. So before you leave today, make a pact with yourself to continue to grow, learn, and progress, making every moment count so it will never be forgotten. Remember that it's not about crossing the finish line, but the steps you took along the way. I want to leave you all tonight with a quote from Pericles. What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the graduating class of 2011.
I'm in love.
Bradley, outstanding job.